Assalamualaikum, ma'am, sir. Today I will explain about my thesis. The title is The Type of Teacher Question During Interaction in English Classroom at Junior High School number 30, Jambi. In my thesis, I have 5 parts: introduction, review related of literature, research methodology, finding and discussion, and last conclusion and suggestion. The first, I will explain about background of the study. One of the purpose of language teaching is to make students able to communicate in target language. Language teaching itself can refer to interactive process between teacher and student or among the student themselves. According Warsita, interactive is something that is related to ways communication are taking action each other. So, interactive classroom is very important in teaching learning foreign language. And interactive classroom is a very interactive classroom can be placed to apply to practice their ability. So the teacher should create the interesting process learning. And the role the teacher not only transfer the knowledge but also stimulating the proficiency. To excite their ability, the teacher have many ways. When the teacher teach, there is interaction between teacher and student. So when interaction, the student have opportunity to practice their ability, exactly language that they learn. Every teacher have different ways to active and initiate the classroom, but most of the teacher use the question to initiate and active the classroom. And based on my observation, when I'm teaching practice in junior high school number 30 Jambi, when teaching learning process, I saw the student, most of student silent in the class, passive, and the student shy to express their opinion. I think the problem, the student not understand what teachers say because lack of vocabulary. And to solve the problem, teacher use the question to make student more active in interaction in classroom and not passive again. Next, I will explain about research question. In the research, I have 3 research question. The first is what are common type the teacher use in English classroom. The second is why the English teacher use this type of question. The third is what are strategy the teacher use to cope with not respond the question. And the purpose of the research to find out what are common type the teacher use and why the teacher use this question, and what are strategy the teacher use to cope not respond question, and limitation of question research. I am focused the type of teacher question and why the teacher use this type, and last, what are strategy the teacher use. And significance of the research. The first is for a teacher. In my research, I have to give information to the teacher that the various question have many function. So it can help the teacher to teach when teaching learning process, to make student more active, and to for the further researcher, hopefully my research can be references for another researcher. And chapter 2, review of related literature, I will explain about definition of question, the importance of question, type of question, strategy of English classroom questioning technique, the role of the teacher in the classroom, the meaning of interaction, type of classroom interaction, classroom management, teaching English, and previous study. And according Erlinda and Dewi, question is any sentence interrogative which uttered by the speaker in order to get information from hearer. And type of question according Richard and Lucas, the first is procedural question. Procedural question is question have to do with what's going on in the classroom, such as classroom management. The next is a convergent question. Usually convergent question encourage students to more focus in the main topic or the material has presented. And divergent question is encourage students to respond which are respond based on knowledge or in experience or opinion to engage students to higher level thinking. And next type of question according Long and Sato, this have two types. The first is display question. Display question, the teacher asks question that the teacher know the answer. Next referential question is the teacher asks the question that the teacher do not know the answer. And next, according Sui, I have two type of question, closed and open question. Closed question is the question only accept one correct answer, but the open question they accept more than one correct answer. And next, strategy to cope not respond according Meng et al. In here I have 7 strategy. The first is simpling question, repeating question, employing additional question, giving longer word time, helping with body language, explain, give example, and the last answering. Next, I will explain about research methodology. This qualitative research methodology is to know the real phenomenon happen, and I am not use formula to analyze the data. And the location of the research, I choose junior high school number 30 Morojambi because I am finished teaching practice in there, and I'm already familiar in the place. And the subject, I choose one teacher because it's a 7th grade, only one the teacher. And I choose 7th grade because a 7th grade transition from the elementary school to junior high school, so the teacher need to adapt because elementary environment different with junior high school. And data I got a primary data from observation and interview. And data collection technique, the first is classroom observation. I'm record the process learning, that I record the process teaching learning, and I am become a non-participant observer. It's mean I do not directly participate in process learning. I just sit on the back and watch, and so the teacher not disturb. And second is interview. I used to get deep information. And research instrument, I use interview guideline to give information from the teacher. And the last, data analysis technique. Researcher employs several techniques to analyze the data. The first is researcher collect the data from observation and interview. And the second, researcher watch result from observation and listening result of interview. and after that researcher transcript from observation and interview, and after that after the transcript the researcher read all of the data, and after the read the researcher compare the transcript with audiovisual and audio, and after compare the researcher categorize the type of teacher used in the classroom, and after categorize finally the researcher make a conclusion the data into the percentage, and result from the interview the researcher read the transcript or interview and find out the reason use this type of question and what are strategy the teacher use in the class. I will explain about finding and discussion, and based on my observation I take the data to meeting each class. The first is the type of the question in class A. According Richard and Lucar, the teacher mostly use the teacher is convergent. This a 27 question and in 69% in first meeting, and the second meeting 21 question in 61%. And second position is procedural question. In a convergent question, the teacher use questions such as do you know thing, what is this, and so on. Next, second position is procedural question. The first meeting 7 question in 17%, and the second meeting 12 question in 35%. And the last position and the procedural question. For example, who is absent today? Did you bring dictionary? And next, the last position is divergent. In a divergent, first meeting is 5 question, and the percent 12%, and the second meeting only 1 question in 2%. Next, according to we have two type of question, close and open. It's the teacher must use open question. In first meeting is 26 question, and in percentage 66% in first meeting, and a second 24 question and 70% in second meeting. For example, such as what the function of the door, occupation is, and so on. And close question only 13 question, 30%, and the second meeting 10 question. The percentage is 29%. And according Bone and Spada have display question and referential question. In first meeting, display question 27 in 69% in first meeting, and second meeting 20 question and 58%. And questions such as what it is, the function is, what the function of chair, and so on. And next, referential in first meeting 12 question in percent 30%, and the second meeting is 14 in 41%. And next, I will explain based on my observation in class B. And in class B, Richard and Lucar, the most common type the teacher use is convergent. convergent 17 question is 68%, and the second meeting is 13 question in 68%, and second position same like class A, 5 question and 20%, 5 question. The second meeting is 26%, and the last position is divergent. The first meeting is 3 question in 12%. Second is only 1 question in 5%. And according to we, open question in first meeting is 22 in 88%, and the second meeting 18 question in 94%, and close question is 3 question and percentage 12, and only 1 close question in second meeting and 5 percentage. And according like Bond and Spada, display question is 18 question in percentage 72% in first meeting, and the second meeting 14 question in percentage 73%, and referential is only 7 question in 28%, and 5 question in 26% in second meeting. And next, reason the teacher use this type, according my interview, the teacher use several type is have the purpose of reason. The first is a procedural question. The teacher use a procedural question is to were used to attract students, activate and to check student progress. And while convergent, the teacher use convergent to recall the previous information and develop student to interest and curiosity. And maybe divergent question, the teacher used to check student knowledge. And divergent question require student to give their opinion, their reason or judgment. And next, the teacher use the open question. Usually the teacher used to get information from the student, while the closed question, the teacher the teacher use close the question to check student knowledge. And strategy used in the teacher to cope not respond question from the student, according Meng et al. 2012. The teacher use repeating the question, employing additional question, helping with body language, and answering the question. Chapter 5 is conclusion and suggestion. In conclusion in my research is the teacher teach 7th grade in junior high school number 30 Moro Jambi. The teacher use various type of question in the classroom, and the teacher use of question to check student knowledge or understanding. And the strategy the teacher used to cope not respond from the student, repeating the question, employing additional question, helping with body language, and answering. Suggestion to the teacher, give guides for the teacher the ask various type of question. And to another researcher, there was a lot of limitation in this study. to find out the student response to each type of question to make sure the effectiveness of type of question. Thank you for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.